Red Dead Online has evolved quite a bit since its release. It may not have evolved necessarily as fast as some would hope, and some would think it's moving along way too slowly, but looking back since release, if you are a new player, there is a lot on offer now compared to even just 7 months ago, right before the Frontier Pursuits update in September 2019. And in 2019 as a whole, Red Dead Online received 4 major content updates on February 26th, May 14th, September 10th, and finally December 13th with Moonshiners. New roles have been introduced which gave players all new ways to play Red Dead Online and, at least for the time being, something to grind and play for. Speaking about Red Dead Online's evolution, Rockstar Games, the developers themselves, have also undergone quite a bit of change as well since both Red Dead Redemption 2 release at the end of October 2018 and then Red Dead Online at the end of November of 2018. Today, we'll be going in depth on Rockstar Games as a company and what this means for new upcoming Red Dead Online DLC updates. The community definitely wants more right now, and before long we should see something from Rockstar, but for now, let's look towards how exactly they've undergone major changes as a company and what this means for us as players. So if you enjoyed the video and find the information helpful, it would be amazing if you could consider leaving a like on the video, and if you are new to the channel, my mission is to keep you in the loop with all things Red Dead and Rockstar Games, so consider subscribing as well so you do not miss out on any fresh updates, news, leaks, tips and tricks, and more. We'll first take a look at a recent Kotaku article written by Jason Schreier, who now works at Bloomberg News discussing video games and other media, and it's titled 18 months after Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar has made big cultural changes. You may have heard this piece of text referenced in certain GTA Online and GTA 6 videos, and although that is one of the big takeaways readers had because it is mentioned in the article, we are focusing on Rockstar as a business and developer and also Red Dead Online here. Rockstar has expressed in the past that they're solely focused on Red Dead Online as opposed to Red Dead Redemption 2 story and single player, and that what we're about to discuss shows how this all is going according to plan. There is confirmation that Red Dead Online and GTA Online will continue to be regularly updated and perhaps more frequently again with smaller additions, something we haven't seen from Rockstar since 2014 and 2015 in GTA Online. Last fall, nearly a year after the release of Red Dead Redemption 2, top Rockstar executive Jennifer Colby sent out an email to staff with a list of bullet-pointed initiatives to improve Rockstar's culture. Rockstar, the game developer behind Grand Theft Auto and many other high-selling, often controversial titles, has been widely criticized a year prior for cultural issues and extensive overtime. In these last several months, we've undertaken a lot of work across every area of the company, looking at our processes to determine what works and what doesn't, what we're great at, and what we could improve, Colby wrote in the email, which was reviewed by Kotaku. We hope that the majority of you have felt some of these positive changes already, and those that haven't soon will. Colby went on to outline some of their plans for 2020 as well. Flexible schedules for developers at Rockstar's various studios, from California to the United Kingdom, management and leadership training, anonymous surveys to collect feedback from employees, regular updates on the company's future games and updates, and better communication all around. The tenor of the email was straightforward. After the controversies of 2018, Rockstar wanted to do better. They also wanted to cut back on crunch time, the ubiquitous practice of working nights and weekends to finish video games. We've taken conscious steps to improve our approach to developing games in order to reduce the time needed for overtime, Colby wrote. We realize that we still have plenty to do in this area and will continue to take steps so we can more accurately predict and schedule games and DLC in a way that's more sustainable, but still allows us the creative flexibility to iterate on the incredibly ambitious and complex games we make. Colby's email was another in a long line of big changes or promises to change that Rockstar has made in the 18 months since the company faced a public reckoning of its extensive overtime and other cultural issues. In October of 2018, while promoting Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar co-founder Dan Houser told an interviewer that he and his writing team were working 100-hour weeks to finish the game. The claim set off an internet firestorm and led to investigations into crunch culture at the developer of some of the world's most popular video games, including GTA, where employees regularly worked months of 55 to 60-hour work weeks to finish new games. Crunch wasn't the only endemic issue at Rockstar, which employs roughly 2,000 people in studios across the globe. A subsequent investigation by Kotaku revealed a sexual harassment allegation against one of the company's top executives, Geronimo Barrera. Barrera has denied this allegation, and for years, led by Houser, his brother Sam, and an inner circle of veterans including Barrera, many of Rockstar's offices embraced a frat-like culture that often included heavy drinking, parties, and excursions to strip clubs. Now, however, the climate appears to be shifting at the long-running game studio, and interviews with 15 people who either work at Rockstar or left within the last year paint the picture of a company that's changing in significant ways. As one of Rockstar's staffers described it to Kotaku, management seems to now be set on running the company like a company. And Rockstar also declined to provide an interview or comment for this story, but it does seem like a healthier culture overall, said a second Rockstar developer. We'll see in a year or two if I'm pulling my hair out, but it does seem like we're moving in the right direction for being a company the size we are. Even today, with production slowed down and staff working from home due to the pandemic, the company's management seems to be saying the right things. They keep emphasizing that it's normal to not be productive, and our focus should be on the health of taking care of our families, said a third Rockstar employee. Since the release of Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar has made several major management changes, and last spring, Dan Houser went on a sabbatical that later turned into his departure from the company. Throughout the year, Rockstar replaced studio heads at its San Diego, California, and Lincoln, UK offices, and the company also booted directors and managers who were said to contribute to cultural issues. Rockstar held meetings about conduct and sexual harassment and made plans to bring in a coaching organization called Mindful Talent for management training. It's been a slow process, Rockstar developers say, but it's led to improvements to some people's lives. It's like there's an operation to get rid of bad eggs, said one Rockstar employee. There are still bad eggs around, don't get me wrong, but it feels like their days are numbered. Rockstar's leaders have also told employees that they hope to mitigate crunch on the next big project by improving their technology pipelines and planning out more of the game's beats in advance. One belief shared by the Rockstar employees is that Dan Houser's departure will lead to fewer last-minute rewrites and overhauls, which is the type of great deal of overtime on Red Dead Redemption 2 that led to it. Rockstar has also implemented flex time scheduling for many employees, allowing them to work variable hours based on their preferences and needs. One plan that management has laid out for the next game, a new entry in the GTA series, is to start out with a moderately sized release, which by Rockstar standards still would be a large game, that's then expanded with regular updates over time, which may help mitigate stress and crunch. But there's a catch. Rockstar's next big project is still in early development. When production ramps up and the game gets closer to launching, will overtime come with it? Will Rockstar's employees then face the pressure of months of crunch in order to finish all of the ambitious work it takes to make a Rockstar game? The changes have been good enough for me to stay and for me to give them a chance, but let's see what happens down the road when the pressures of delivering a final product become reality, said one developer. Even with some disliked managers gone, there's concerns at some Rockstar offices that long-rooted culture of workaholism may rear up again when it comes time to get a new game out of the door. The issue with Red Dead Redemption 2 wasn't just scope, said a former employee. The culture was very much centered around the idea that if you aren't doing overtime, you aren't working hard. Still, staff at various Rockstar offices say they feel like the company has taken big strides over the past year and a half in ways that will improve people's lives even if there is crunch on the next game. One of Rockstar Studios whose employees felt the most pain during the development of Red Dead Redemption 2 was Rockstar Lincoln, based in the United Kingdom, which handles quality assurance testing. Testers at Lincoln painted a bleak picture, telling stories of an atmosphere in which crunch was mandatory. Staff were expected to put phones in a locker while at work, and the blinds had to be closed to prevent fans from snooping. Since 2018, Rockstar's increased salaries for Lincoln testers and converted all of the contractors to full-time staff. Lincoln now tells testers that overtime is optional and that it will be paid at a 1.5 times rate. Some of the new previous policies have been revoked to the point where one employee said the company culture has become more fun. Testers are now allowed to use phones at their desks, for example. I wish you were there in 2018 to hear the global sigh of release when people learned that overtime became optional, one Lincoln tester told in an email last year, and a second that Rockstar have become a lot better since Kotaku's reporting on work conditions at the studio. Staff at Rockstar North in Scotland, at Rockstar San Diego in California, and Rockstar New York and Manhattan have also shared optimistic outlooks on the company's cultural changes, praising the new quality of life improvements and communication from management. Although some were careful to temper their comments with skepticism. Some complained of low salaries, expected to be augmented over time, or managers who still maintain some of the frat house culture that characterized the Rockstar of years ago. Even those who spoke the most optimistically of Rockstar's cultural changes were quick to mention that it's been and will continue to be a slow, sweeping process, one that may take years to fully come to fruition. But some who were making exit plans 2 years ago now say that they see themselves staying at Rockstar for the long haul, as long as this trajectory continues. Cautious optimism is the common theme. We're talking tangentially about something that feels like it's just starting up, said one dev. Of course it's gonna feel really good right now. There's a lot of big things mentioned inside of this article, and for one, Rockstar has changed a lot since before Red Dead Redemption 2, and by the looks of it, they are changing at their very core. Game releases may be smaller and updated over time, whether it's to give more of an online focus and games as a service focus, whether it's to limit crunch time and overtime for any reason. They are making these changes for the better because they heard the outrage in the community, they listened to their own employees, and have had the interest in making these huge changes for themselves. Although lots of people, including myself, want so much more from Red Dead Online, perhaps Rockstar really is waiting until next-gen consoles to go all in with Red Dead, and right now they're just biding time and trying to maintain the player base they have. But one thing is for certain, these cultural changes at Rockstar mean tangible changes in Red Dead will come in the future, and some have already made their way into the game. Where Rockstar would typically be silent for months, they discuss content they're interested in dabbling in or officially adding to Red Dead Online with gaming news publications like Polygon, VG247, IGN, Games Radar, etc. What's important to note with these interviews and articles, however, is a lot of it comes true almost right away. Some major things Rockstar explicitly stated that they wanted to add in Red Dead Online still have not arrived, but for example, properties were added in the immediate update after they officially mentioned properties. The communication is there, and although other developers and publishers do way more, the communication from Rockstar Games has changed, and it's almost likely owed to everything Jason Schreier discussed in his Kotaku piece. I think that's where we'll wrap up things today. Hang in there, folks. The next major Red Dead Online update will come, and we just need these devs to get back into the office so they can bang it out. As long as everyone is staying safe, happy, and healthy, that's most important right now. I know this was a really long one, but hopefully you all enjoyed the video, and if you did, definitely drop a like down below, and of course, if you are new to the channel, definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Red Dead Online and Red Dead Redemption 2, and even Rockstar Games as a whole. We'll be sure to keep you guys up to date with updates, news, information, tips and tricks, and even leaks, and we'll keep you guys updated here on the channel daily, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected with me outside of YouTube. I practically live on all three of those websites, and you can feel free to strike up a conversation or even ask me a question. Whatever it may be, you can follow me at HazardousHDTV, and all of my social media links, including my Discord, can be found in the description down below. With all that said, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in the next Red Dead Online video. Adios, amigos.